So what is the net present value by definition? Well, the net present value is the sum of all the future cash flows in today's money. So why is it important to know the net present value? Why is it important to know why is there such a thing called a present value? Well, to put it simply, money today is worth more than money tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna use an example to explain this concept. I grab one of these, and let's suppose these cool magnets are seeds. So I have a plant and I have a seed. In this example, the seeds are supposed to be the money. So the seeds will be my cash at hand. So let's suppose at year one, or now, I hold on to the cash. And in another parallel universe, I actually plant them and they grow into this plant. So in a few years, this will actually give me a bunch of apples that I can then sell and get more value out of them as an investment. So this brings us back to the NPV and why it's an important metric that we use to judge or to assess projects that have potential of bringing more value as the years go by, as opposed to the holding on to the cash itself and not investing it. So I'm going to be losing on that opportunity to make those extra seeds in the future. So I'll be losing value by holding on to uninvested cash. And this is partially one of the reasons why the NPV is important. It's called the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of not investing these and having the years go by without any plants being grown. And there's another reason why the seeds will lose value with time. Let's suppose that our beloved tree here that gave us the apples in the future, let's say it gave us 20 apples, and each of these apples has 5 seeds, let's say. So now I'm gonna be having maybe 100 seeds in a few years. So my 5 seeds are gonna be less valuable because there are many more seeds in the future. So this is what inflation does. It devalues the cash that you have at hand. So the present value of these seeds are actually higher than they would be in the future. So we can reflect this on cash. So the cash you guys have at hand has a higher value as of this moment than in a year's time. We can see why we would want a metric that would cancel out the effect of this inflation and the devaluation of money with time, and give us a representation of what the value or the future value of the generated cash flow in today's money or today's value of money. That's why it's called the net present value. So this is how the NPV formula looks like, and you can see that it has this discount rate factor in the equation. So the discount rate could be the inflation rate, basically the inflation working backwards. So you want to cancel that effect of the inflation, so you would add this factor in there in the equation to cancel it out or to take it out of the evaluation. The discount rate also has, in most cases, the cost of cash or the cost at which the company can get the cash for the investment, and we refer to that as the WACC. WACC stands for weighted average cost of capital, which is again the cost that the company has to incur to get that cash. The WACC also has some risk factors built into it. It basically says how risky is this investment, what's the percentage or what's the likelihood that I will lose all this investment or part of this investment. That's included in the WACC. And with all these factors together, we'll get a more representative discount rate that we can judge an investment by. And when we discount those cash flows, those projected cash flows, we will get a more representative value or figure in today's present value of money. So let's suppose we had a project that we wanted to assess whether this project will actually bring in value to the company or will it destroy value and actually lose money, lose our company's investment money. We would take the projected future cash flows of this investment, and then we'll discount those to today's value of money. And if that number is above zero, then this investment actually brings in more value and more money that we put into it. If on the other hand, the NPV comes out to be negative, this means that the investment is not a good investment and it will lose the company's money and it will destroy value. If it happens to be zero, then this investment is not bringing any money in and is not losing any money. So it's even. And perhaps that would be a good place to put your money, because there are other opportunities that will bring in more value using the same amount of investment. So the NPV actually makes the whole decision-making process a little easier by giving you more clarity and putting things into perspective. Now, the drawbacks of the NPV, and all financial metrics have drawbacks. The drawbacks of the NPV metric is, I would say, it requires a lot of perhaps guesswork, because we're projecting into the future, and this will actually create some sort of a source of error for the assessment. The result is only as good as the whole projection process. So if the projection process has a lot of guesswork, then the NPV is not going to be an accurate measure. Also, another source of error that the NPV has is the illusion of high NPV. Now, the NPV depends on how much money I put in the investment. So let's say I'm comparing projects that have different initial investments. The bigger investment will have a higher NPV than a smaller investment NPV, because they will stack up differently. So this will disturb the weighing and comparison of projects if they're not on the same scale. Nonetheless, the NPV still is a very valuable metric, and it really puts things into perspective. So one important point that the NPV actually shows is that us holding on to the seeds, the cash that we have at hand, and not investing it, will actually lose us money and lose us value over the long run. Planting those seeds early enough so that the plants can grow, you can get the fruits of your investments earlier, and get more seeds. Subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'll be posting more videos describing or explaining key financial metrics, and basically linking them if possible to our personal life and to the business operations. Thanks for watching.